Hi, Tom Doomer with Screenjig. On YouTube, there are many videos on how to repair your Windows screen and screen doors. All are very instructional with the exception of one important tool, the insertion tool, called the spleen tool. Of course, they don't know about Screenjig. People are still using this old one. Of course, that old tool has been around forever. It's cheap, about $4 to $5, and hard to work with. Many times ripping your screen cloth. It requires you to use both hands to feed the spline, leaving you no hands to hold the frame or the screen cloth from bowing the frame or moving the screen cloth around causing wrinkles. Hey, you get what you pay for. Screenjig does away with the hassle. So let's do away with this one and get on with how to screen a screen door. First, remove the old screen cloth. Remember, you pulled the old spleen cloth out using a screwdriver and your hand. Remember to keep a piece of it to match up at the store. Now for screen cloth. Here's a good time to mention the sizes you could purchase. At the store, you will find usually only two sizes, 48 by 48 inch roll for window screens and a 36 by 84 inch for screen doors. They come in different mesh styles and colors, usually black and gray. However, you might find other colors. Some mesh is heavier than others. Use your sample to find the right one. The spleen comes in 5 different sizes. The most popular one is a .165 and a .175. However, check yours. It might even be a .125. Feed the spline under the binding post and over the wheel. Insert the wheel and spline into the frame track. Push the screen jig through the frame track to the end. Hold the frame like this. Push the spleen down the track in one single motion. Once you reach one end, turn the frame or move around and start the next direction as shown. Keep in mind, you do not need to move the screen jig back and forth, just one smooth movement forward. The excess spleen can lay anywhere. The screen jig will feed it in, even off a 1,000-foot roll if you are doing a lot of screening. If your screen door is bent or broken, it's not worth repairing it. It's cheaper to buy a new one. Now, using a sharp knife or razor, cut the same excess screen cloth and spleen off like this. Hold the knife or razor like this on a slant to the frame and pull back while holding the excess off. And there you go, ready to install. A pool tabletop if you have one. They make a great place to do your screening. You can use any hard surface, such as a concrete floor, a wooden floor, or a pool area. Anytime you can work standing up is better and easier on you. A table or 2 horse stands with a particle board or any board large enough to cover the frame will do. Feed the spline under the binding post and over the wheel. Insert the wheel and spline into the frame track. Hold the frame like this. Push the spleen down the track in one single motion. Once you reach one end, turn the frame or move around and start the next direction as shown. Keep in mind, you do not need to move the screen jig back and forth, just one smooth movement forward. Hold your hand in the center of the screen. This prevents the screen from moving and bowing. Now, using a sharp knife or razor, cut the same excess screen cloth and spleen off like this. Hold the knife or razor like this on a slant to the frame and pull back while holding the excess off. Now we come to the part of replacing the broken frame with the rest of the frame. When you look at your frame, it is either 45-degree cut corners or square plug. There are two different kinds of frame corner holders. Square corner plugs come in either 5/16 or 7/16 size to match the same size frames. The right size is important. Pushing the plugs into the frame take little effort. The best way is start the plug into the frame, make sure you're facing the plug in the right way like this. Now place the plug down on the ground on a hard surface and push down on the frame. This one inserts into a 45-degree cut like this. It too comes in the same sizes. The length of the 16-inch frame from corner tip to corner tip on a 45-degree cut. In most cases, a miter saw is not available to cut the 45-degree angle. So most people use a square plug like this. It's easy to use. They come in two different sizes to fit your frame. A 5/16 and a 7/16. Make sure you get the right one. Now you will notice that the 16-inch frame straight cut is 1.5 inches shorter. This compensates for the square plugs. So when the frame is assembled, it's 16 by 8.5 inches. With this frame, one side has 45-degree cuts, and the other hot side has the square plugs. Keep in mind, the frame is always 3/4 inches shorter on each end when using the plugs, and not on the 45-degree. Now the frame is ready to put the screen cloth on. Feed the spline under the binding post and over the wheel. Insert the wheel and spline into the frame track. Push the screen jig through the frame track to the end. On larger screens, to prevent bowing, seeing that you now have a free hand, place your hand in